Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and it's time for a haul. So today's haul is going to be more contemporary romance, literary fiction focused. I've split up a couple of hauls recently to try and make them easier to go through. So let's get started straight away. The first book is a book that I was very kindly sent by the publisher. It sounds brilliant and I can't wait to get stuck in. It's called A Boy Made of Blocks by Keith Stewart. This is the story of a father. He loves his wife and he loves his son, but he doesn't understand his son. His son has autism and they find a way to bond through the computer game Minecraft. And I've heard that this is a really beautifully written story, and it says here funny, expertly plotted and written with enormous heart, and that's by the author of the Rosie Project. That is high praise indeed. I think this is going to be a really interesting read and something quite moving. This is written by the authors, or based on the author's true life experiences, which I think really adds an extra dimension to a story. So I'm really looking forward to trying this one out and seeing what I think. Next up were two books that were sent unsolicited by Walker Books, but I'm super duper happy they sent them nonetheless. And they are Manga and Bamba, The Not a Pig by Clara Williami, and Manga and Bamba, Tiny Tapir Trouble. So these are both beautiful, beautiful books, and they are so beautiful inside. And I think they are books that I am 100% going to read to Matilda. Whether she's a little bit young now, I don't know. I might have to wait a year or two, but I'm certainly going to see if she's interested, because I just think they're wonderful. They look really beautiful and I love the pictures inside. There's some great artwork in here. Next up are four books that are in part of a series, which I couldn't help but buy. If you've been watching mine and Janet from Swirly Girly Reads doing our fairy tale retellings, we read A Kiss at Midnight by Eloisa James, which is a Cinderella retelling, and I loved it. It was a wonderful romance Cinderella retelling. I just adored it, and in the series there are others, so I picked them up all second hand. I picked up When Beauty Tamed the Beast. I wonder if you can guess which story this one's based on. Once Upon a Tower, and The Duke is Mine, and The Ugly Duchess. So I just can't wait to get stuck into these. They were so much fun. I read A Kiss at Midnight in about a day. I just wolfed it down. They were just really clever romances where the main character is really strong. She's not a, stupid female in a regency that's all simpering and silly. She held her own and she had some really, really interesting dialogue in A Kiss at Midnight, so I'm really excited to move on and try these ones. Continuing on that sort of romancy vein, I wanted to try some Georgette Heyer, so I picked up a couple of books. I picked up The Devil's Club and I picked up Regency Buck, both from charity shops. I think these are part of a series, so we'll have to pick up the rest in the series before I start, because I'm not sure if The Devil's Club is the first in this particular series, but I'm looking forward to trying them nonetheless. Georgette Heyer is a prolific writer. There is lots and lots of work by her out there. So if I enjoy it, I look forward to reading some more. Next is a non-fiction I picked up recently. I love Mary Roach, and so I picked up her latest book, Grunt, and I'm really excited about this. Mary Roach's books are just really accessible non-fiction for me, about subjects that I possibly wouldn't have read about otherwise. My favourite of her books so far is Stiff, which is a story of cadavers and different things that happen to cadavers. It talks about scientific experimentation, it talks about body farms, it just talks about the body and its various uses once it's dead and what happens to it, and I just thought it was brilliant. And I'm really intrigued by this. It's about soldiers It's about everything in between. It's the curious science of humans at war. So I'm really excited to get stuck into another one of her books because she is brilliant. Just a couple more. Firstly, I picked up Spare Brides by Adele Parks. I've been wanting to read some more Adele Parks for ages. I really enjoy her books. They're sort of sagas. They're very easy reading. And she always packs a punch into what she's writing. This one particularly sounded interesting. It's about Spare Bride and it's set in the 20s and it's in a time of war, and when not all men come home from the war, there are spare brides. There are girls that can't find husbands, and it's a story about them, and I just think it sounds really fun. Next is a book that I've seen around a few times, and it was in my local charity shop for 99p, and that is Fat Chance by Nick Spalding. This is sounds like a very funny story. It says on the back, meet Zoe and Greg Milton, a married couple who have let themselves go a bit. Zoe was a stunner in her college days, but the intervening decades have added 5 stone and removed most of her self-esteem. Greg's rugby playing days are well and truly behind him thanks to the countless pints of beer and chicken curry. When Elise, a radio DJ and Zoe's best friend, tells them about a new competition, it seems like the perfect opportunity to turn their lives around. Fat Chance will pit 6 hefty couples against one another to see who can collectively lose the most weight and walk away with the £50,000 prize. So begins 6 months of abject misery, tears and frustration that just might turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to them. In another laugh-out-loud look at the way we live now from best-selling author Nick Spalding. So I'm excited to try this. He's a new author for me. If I like it, it sounds like there's plenty of books that he's written that I can go to. Yeah, there is a series called Love. There's a series called Life. And various other books. So I'm really excited to try this one out. It just sounds like a real fun story. And finally, a book that I picked up purely from watching Simon of Savage Reads. So thank you, Simon. This just sounds right up my alley. It's called The Less Than Perfect Legend of Donna Creosote by Dan Micklethwaite. I love the look of the cover of this and the description that Simon read out. Yeah, I was just like, oh yes, I must have this book. It says, Donna Quick Oakley walks on 6 inches of stories every day. She may live at the top floor of a tower block, but she still pads her walls and floor with books to shut the real world further out. Or do they only shut her in? Armed with her myths and medieval adventures, Donna sets out to escape her isolation and change her hometown to better suit her dreams. The Less Than Perfect Legend of Donna Creosote is a modern fairy tale from the inner city where the mundane become fantastical and the everyday ethereal, but where living happily ever after is often easier read than done. This sounds just brilliant and exactly the type of book that I like to read, so I can't wait to try this one out. So this is all the books that I bought recently. Have you read any of these? What do you think of them? Let me know which ones you like the sound of, and let's chat in the comments as always. Bye for now, BookTube.